Last time we were exploring some animation using some of the built-in features of Unity. We're going to continue expanding upon that animation. Um, Part of the next animation we're going to take a look at isn't using the animator controller directly like that, but use it to use programming to do the animation. Now, first thing before we get into looking at that, we're going to take a look at something called the canvas. And over here in your hierarchy, if you right click on the gray area here, you'll see a user interface and lots of different options here, but the canvas is one we want. So if I choose canvas, got a canvas option here. Canvas is like our canvas of a painting. You get ready to slap stuff on it now. Different options you can do with the canvas. The screen space overlay, screen space camera, world space. The overlay is what we're going to take a look at, and that overlays the screen. So you have to plan it accordingly on how you want it to appear. Some other options we'll take a look at here eventually. More modifications we can do to the display, but we'll start with that. So now if I right click on canvas and choose a UI, user interface, and I choose text, for example. This is now overlaid on the screen. Now, this text component, or this text right here, has its own features. You can give it its own name, tag, so forth. You can change the position. So do -50, it throws it over there. -250 throws it over there. If I change that to 150, moves the text up there. We see you got our width and our height. Now I can't remember where you do the alignment at. Width is like the actual width of this over here, so that let's see, that's 160. I'm assuming it's left aligned to begin with. That's if you had a like a new text here, and you wanted more control on how far it goes over, how high. Rotation, scale, if you want to make it bigger. Like that. Probably want to change my position then. Okay, here's the font. You want to choose a different font. I guess there's a whole lot of default ones for Unity. That's real curious. It doesn't go off of Windows. Style, you can bold it. So forth. Oh, here's alignment. So left align, right align, then you center. And this is your position vertically. Horizontal overflow, vertical overflow, wrap. My dog was home last night and she was happy to see me. So by default, looks like it wraps. Choose overflow goes like that. Now that seemed to go against the width, which I didn't think it would. So the width must control just the wrap. So if I want more on the on each line, then I would change that width. Vertical overflow. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. Horizontal is when you're typing to the side and so forth. The best fit. There's a color option. Yeah, did I change it? I did. Get something to appear a little bit better. See, there's even a material. I don't know if that means I could drop grass on it or not. Let me see. Never have tried to do that. Nope. Looks like it's limited to what you can do. Okay, so that's just the text. There's you can right click on this and choose another user interface. You do an image, raw image, button. So it drops a button on there. And again, it has its own positioning. You can move it around. Now here on the width, you actually can see it here because the text is not, it's meant so you can kind of see through it, but the button is such that you're not supposed to see it through it. Nowhere do you see on here, I don't think, where it allows you to change what the button says. But over here, you notice that there's an arrow next to the button. If you expand that, there's a text option. And when you expand it, then you can change that. And there's lots of different options. We're not going to go over all that. Now you have to be on Canvas when you select this. It is possible, it may default to Canvas in some cases, but it's possible to have two canvases on your screen. So if you come down here and you right click and choose user interface and you choose another button, okay, that put it under my other canvas. It might have changed that with this version. But you can right click on this and you can choose user interface and canvas. And you can have two canvases on there. And it used to be that if you added some kind of element, it might create a brand new canvas. I always emphasize to you to make sure you have this selected when you create a new user interface. There's nothing wrong with having two canvases. Canvas is just kind of a backdrop anyway for it. Okay, so I probably won't be able to break myself right clicking on that. There's a toggle. This is where you can check or uncheck something. Where would you use this at in a game? Well, you might use it. Actually, you could use it both in 3D game development and virtual reality. 3D game development, maybe you're using your mouse to choose settings. Like you choose a settings option, go in there, and you can check or uncheck options that you want, and then that information is stored off. Perhaps you're developing some kind of educational game, and you want to have some kind of interactivity with the player. Let's see, negative 50, 100, 200. Move that up some. There is a way to interact with the canvas directly. And to be honest, I've forgotten how to do it. Somewhere over here, where you can choose the canvas. But the game allows you to see it right here. Just not that I'll remember tomorrow, but let me Unity, how to show the canvas. Oh, I don't want that. I wanted the design mode. These are all about how to show it within the game, which we'll get to eventually. Let's see. Maybe it's just as simple as isn't as simple as double clicking on it. No. Well, helps if I'm in the right place. There it is. I did a Shift F. Benefit of this is if you get canvas to appear over here in your scene, you can use your tools to move it around different items. So I might make that go a little bit faster. in terms of adding and looking at them. Okay, now notice the toggle again has a little triangle next to it, so we can expand it. You see it's got a background check mark. So if you wanted something different, then you could work with that. I don't know what options there are. Here's a source image for that. Looks like these are all the default ones you could have. You can also, you notice here you got a label. It says toggle. Maybe I can change that to expert mode. Okay. Now if I drop on another slider, you may have seen that in games before. That's where you can slide it and have it indicate whatever. Maybe I was going to say brightness, but I don't think you can control the brightness in Unity. Maybe you can. But if you wanted it to appear brighter, maybe, then maybe that would be an option. I bet you can, actually, now that I say that. Because, you know, when you play some games, and they have you configure it to your display at the very beginning, because the brightness and other display features can cause you not to be able to even see the action going on. Always when that comes up, when I configure a new game on my PlayStation, I always try to make it as bright as possible. Even if it's meant to be dark there, I want to be able to see. And again, that has a expand here. You can do a background, fill area, assuming that's when you move it across. That's a circle, I'm assuming, that goes across. Now, if I play this, there it goes. You can see, you can move these, you can click them, click here, you can interact. Okay. Right click on here. Drop down. Again, some of these are more geared toward like a preference screen or option screen. This drop down here, you see it says label, an arrow. That's that part right here. And template. Down here, you see options. This is under drop down. Option A, novice. Option B, intermediate. Option C, advanced. You can also add more options or delete these using the plus and minus. So if I run this, Do the drop down. You can choose a different option like that, and put the appropriate code behind it also. Let's see what else. Input field. If you want them to input text, don't want another canvas. Panel probably won't appear like much. We got our panel here. We got that there. I'm trying to think where I dropped that panel at. That is strange. What's strange is I didn't expect it to dim that. Try it again. Huh. I'll forget that. I don't like how it dims that. But maybe there's a way around that. And that's probably all exciting stuff there. Okay. So this allows you to program based upon entering data, clicking buttons, so forth.
All right, I'm here.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to close that. You can create a new project. Actually, I don't want a new project. I want to open a project. This is where we're headed.
Wait, we're making GUIs today?
Yeah, did you miss the first part of the video?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, okay.
My audio cut out and then my screen went black, so.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Because we'll be expanding more on the GUIs and so forth.
And I can just go back and watch the video on YouTube later.
Yeah, it's not hard what I showed. Now, where we're headed, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear this or not, but I'm gonna play this. Can you hear that music?
No.
That is strange. Because I'm hearing it, which means I would think that would feed back to you so you'd hear the music. And obviously I don't have the music looping. Now, with this character right here, if I press my R and I hold down the R, you see the arm raises. If I press down L and hold down on the L, then that arm raises. Kind of did this kind of backwards. L, in terms of me viewing it, that's the left arm. R is for me viewing it the right arm. So that's what we're going to take a look at, is how to program bones. So again, we're building upon the animation from last time. We're taking a look now at animating using script, and specifically bones. Now, what I've done is I've added a canvas on here, and I just got a simple button. And I may try to do this from scratch. I always have this to fall back on. I don't think putting the code behind the button is that clear cut. Let me see. I'll go to move it. Now, what I've done here with the move it is nothing exciting. The game object G, just defining a generic game object. I'm not using position. I changed my mind on that. I'm checking if input.getKey keycode.r. Then I'm going to find the game object for upper arm underscore L. That's the robot's left arm, which since the robot's facing us, that'd be the robot's right arm. Wait a minute. Since the robot's facing us, it would appear on the right side. And then I just do a simple transform.rotate. And my X I don't change, but my Y, yeah, this would be your Y. I'm taking a 0.5 times the rotate direction. And I'm kind of steering away from that too, but my rotate direction was 1. And then I multiply it times time.delta time times 25. And again, I can increase that to have it go up faster. Hopefully that won't make it appear choppy. And then I'm checking for the left alt. And if it is, then it should change direction. So let's attach that to Unity. Okay, so I'm going to do an L. And you see the arm goes up faster now. I do an R. That arm goes up. To reverse direction, I press my left alt. And now I can do my left. It's going down. I press my right. My R. And it's going down also. Now, before we go look at the Blender object on this, this is just a Blender file I brought in. I went out. I didn't put any effort into this at all. I went out to TurboSquid, and I looked for a rigged Blender file. If I expand that, rigged means it's already got everything set up. All my bones are in it. The bones member is your armature. And They really indicate when you, we're not going to get into that in this class, but if you're taking an animation class, they really emphasize to put the underscore L and underscore R on at the end. They said for some of the scripts in Blender, you have to have it follow that convention. I haven't run across the script yet where it needed that, but they say to put it on there. If I expand that, I really don't know what this stands for. I think that says IK, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they named it that. There is an inverse kinematic, but I wouldn't think that was geared based upon that. But these other ones are a little bit more obvious. Pelvis is the pelvis, and part of the pelvis is a spine. Part of the spine is abdomen. Part of the abdomen is the chest. Part of the chest is the neck, and then head. You might say, well, those aren't really. Neck isn't on your chest. Well, top part maybe. But that's how they designed the flow of it. Each one of these is its own separate game object you can control. So you see this over here for the abdomen. You can it's rotate negative 13. If I can change this to 50, 70, 90, and so forth. You could almost use this to help you figure out which way does it need to go. You know, what should your values be? The head here. So you change that. So if you put the proper effort into putting the bones in there, you can, through your program, you can control all of that and have it change and so forth. Here's a thigh. Part of the thigh is a calf. Part of that is a leg. Like that. As when I was programming this earlier, I was having a little trouble wrapping around what should I be changing. 2.022. See, as I change that, really not saying much of anything. Negative 105.26. I'm not sure where that's headed. But anyway, that shows you can change those. So through the script, I'm looking for upper arm underscore L. And when you get too many on your too many items over here, it's just easy to use your find. So if I search, then there's the upper arm right here. If you do underscore L, you notice it comes up with all the ones on the left side, which is on our right. So these are all the different things you can program. Thumb, thigh, upper arm, middle body, maybe? I don't know. Knee, and so forth. Okay, so let's do a new. Typed Turbo Squid in Ron yesterday and came up with a real weird site. Wasn't inappropriate, but I think I typed Turbo Quid or something. Remember our Turbo Squid site? If I come here and I can search Blender or just press enter. Comes up here and I can choose price, what I can afford, free. Formats, I want to choose Blender. You can import other items into Blender, but I figure if it's blend, it's already perfect to work with. And then there's a rigged option here. If you choose rigged, these are all the ones with bones in them. And the one I chose to work with was this robot right here. Skeleton might have been kind of humorous. Let me choose skeleton. Download that. In this zip, skeleton.zip is a Blender file. So let me click that. Right click this and say show in folder. Right click, cut, and then I'll move it over to someplace I can more easily find it. I'll throw it in pictures. Paste that. Right click to extract, and then choose extract all. And click extract. And I'll bring up a skeleton. Looks like they put some effort into doing the armature or the armature and putting all the bones in the right place. So that looks good. Rigged means you don't have to worry about any of that. So again, that's your key when you're looking for it. Remember over here we can pose it. Like I got, I'm in pose mode right now. You can move the head like that. So I could sit there and program that in my code if I wanted to. The head movement. Okay, so this is now under instructor, pictures, skeleton. Okay, so that's good enough. Yeah, I want to quit. I'm gonna come over to my game here. I'm gonna right click on that, and then I'm gonna choose import. There it is. Import new asset. And skeleton and skeleton.blend. Oh, it wasn't too fast. Now click and drag this skeleton, drop it up here in my hierarchy. And looks like it's facing the wrong direction. I'll go to the scene. Where's my camera pointing? Okay. I'm going to rotate that about the y-axis. And seemed like I had to do something weird the other day when I scaled it. I'm not sure if it had to do with scaling or just bad coding. So maybe I'll move the camera camera further out. Okay, so I have to think about this. Blue is blue is my Z. Okay, and so that's Z's negative. So negative 50. Let's say it's not too bad. And okay, so now I'll play the game, see what it looks like. Okay, that's not bad. Now I also went to that free sound site. I really like that that site. So it's free sound, which are Creative Commons. And I was trying to look for Jazzercise. I couldn't find anything. As if we were having our character exercise toward it. So then I switched it to Jazz. And I think I chose the second one here. And I wanted that just to play in the background the entire time. So I've already downloaded that, so I won't download it again. Come here and right click, unless I can't find where I put it. Import new asset. Save it under my pictures, logical place. And let's see, it was this one, so I'll double click that. And then I can drag and drop that just in my hierarchy here. And by dropping it in my hierarchy for my scene, it'll play all the time. Assuming I've got a play on awake selected and I choose loop. So right now, we're going to have the arm move up. And it's going to be based upon a keystroke. Like when I push something, I want the arm to go up. And if I expand the skeleton here, looks like they've named some of these meaningful. Manny Armature. I've never worked with this one, so I'm assuming this is the left arm, which would be the one on the right for us. And it is, when you see it here. If I have it go there, I have to really think about where I'm rotating it around. Around a Z, I think. Maybe I'm lying. Well, that may not be what I'm thinking of then. Femur, is that in your leg? Skeleton might have been a bad one. I don't see where it's having much of an effect. Okay, well, ignore the skeleton then. Let me go back to my robot, because I know the robot's good. Where did I put the robot at? Import new asset. I think I put it on desktop. Yeah, there it is. Robot blend. Okay, drop the robot on there. Now I'm all messed up camera-wise. Okay, I'm going to turn the robot around. That doesn't look too bad. I did a Shift F to quickly bring it in. There we go. Now with the robot, again, it has armature, pelvis, no, knee, spine, abdomen, collar, got your lower arm there. Obviously, moving it is not right. Control Z, so rotate. And that's what it should do if it's rigged well, is when you move that, you should see that the arm move. Okay, so now let's put some coding here. So I'm gonna come up here and click the robot, and I'll put the add component here. Now choose script, and this is gonna be moving robot. Double click that. It's not a trivial task to move a model necessarily. There is another mechanism that allows you to move it more free form than what I'm showing. We're again just starting off, we're just doing bone by bone. And you'll see how tedious that is and why a different method is necessary. Okay, so down here, I'm going to name a game object. And I probably just generically define it up here as G. And I'm going to say if key code, or no, input dot get key. I don't remember which one. I'll do get key initially. And when I push the R, I want the arm to go up. Well, I need to find that particular object. So I'm going to do G is equal to game object, all uppercase, or G is uppercase, O is uppercase, dot find. And I need to put a name in here. This name will correspond to the name of the bone. So whatever I choose, let's say upper arm, see the on its left, be my right. So upper arm underscore L. And then G dot transform dot rotate. And I think it was about the Y. Maybe. We'll try it. And now if you simply put in a value here, like 15F, and I'll leave that as 0. Now if I attach that to Unity, if I run that, it's quite a bit. That's actually the one I wanted. So if you hold down on it, it'll keep rotating. But that's pretty fast. But we're going to add a time component into it. So it'll be based not upon frame rate, but based upon the actual time. So times, let's see if I can remember it. Time dot delta time. That'll slow it down. And again, the idea behind this is then it'll go at the same speed on every machine this runs on. If I do my R and hold down, it goes at that speed. I maybe want it to go about twice as fast as that. Now let me choose 50. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, maybe I want its head to spin all the way around all the time. I'm not sure if it's programmed to do that. Where would that be? Not cylinder. What does cylinder do? Nothing in that regard. Pelvis, spine, abdomen. What's on the chest? Neck. Head. There's a head. And it's appropriately called the head. So that'll be easy to find. And then for a rotation, Okay, that's going to go down. Okay, the X goes around. So over here in my code, I can have this just automatically change. I don't think I have to use a different game object. G equals game object dot find head, and then I'll do G dot transform dot rotate. And I said X, I think. So 50F times time dot delta time 0, 0. If it comes back. Debug has been stopped, but not you can stop now. Okay. So then you have that rotating around. So you can see if you have the armature designed correctly, or you find a model that's already got it designed, gives you a lot of flexibility. I can do the R to raise the arm like that. We're going to take a look at doing the canvas so you can control that with a button. Like a button over here, you can click that and cause the arm to go up or down. So I'm going to collapse this. And so I got this. I'm going to right click in the gray area here, choose my user interface, and I'll choose canvas. Then I'll right click on the canvas and I want to choose user interface and choose button. Now you can't see it necessarily very well in the scene there, but if you go to game, you see the button right there. And over here in the scene, if you got your canvas chose, see if I keep forgetting whether Shift F or Control F. If I had any kind of memory, Shift F would bring that into focus. Now over in this, it's nice because you can choose your tools and move it to where you want. Yeah, thought so. That's interesting. Oh, I got my canvas chose. Choose my button. Did I screw up my canvas? No, canvas is still good. Okay, so I got that up there now. And we're going to put code behind this button to allow us to move part of our robot. So that's our goal. And I did send myself the YouTube link on this because I have trouble wrapping myself around the concept. Over here, this is our button we got chose. I'm going to click Add Component. And I want to choose New Script. And button clicking. Again, if I had many buttons, I wouldn't want to use generically button clicking. I'd want to use appropriate naming conventions, make my life easier. Okay, so then it creates a script here. So I got button clicking. And if I double click that, it'll bring up the code here. We don't necessarily want the update and start, so you can delete that. And I got public void move left arm. So again, what I'm trying to program here with this button clicking is I want the left arm to be moved up. So I'm going to come over here and steal this code. Paste it in here. Now, just an off chance, if somebody comes in, I'll have to go see if there's any kind of issue. All the powers to be are gone today, so I'm in charge. So if you see me get up, that's the reason why. Game object G. Have to have that defined. And why has it got a little blue squiggly there? Probably no reason. Okay, yeah, it's gone now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach that to Unity. Keep in mind what this is called. It's under the class called button clicking, and it's under move left arm. So attach that to Unity. And stop that. Now back over to here. We have our button clicking down here. But up above, under the button script, you see there's an on click here. And if I click the plus here, that'll drop this on here. And this is the part I have trouble wrapping my mind around. This on click is already in the button. But this down here is asking me what object was it coming from? Well, I come over here to my hierarchy, I grab the button with my left mouse button, click and hold down, and drag and drop it on there. And it's come from the button. I understand the principle, because the idea would be you can have it run code from another object. Just seems strange to me. Now if I do the drop down here, button clicking. Button clicking. And remember, move left arm. So if I where's it at? Okay, right there. Do that drop down there, you see your button clicking. And then you come over here and you see move left arm. So this is making the connection that when you click this button, it'll run under this class, this object, it'll run this method. Okay, so now if I play it, if I click keep clicking that, unfortunately you can't hold down on it. Then I can cause the button or the arm to go up like that. Now, the part I wasn't able to get to work, I was playing with a little bit during lunch, is getting it to stop going up. If I play this and expand this, which one did I program? Upper arm. Not right though. Left. Okay. If I click that, then when it comes up so far, I don't necessarily want it to go any further. And this is the part I'm having trouble grabbing, is this rotation value here. But I'll have that figured out by next time. I won't fumble around in class doing that. If I wanted to drop on another button to control the other arm, again, my canvas here, I'm going to right click on it and drop on another button. These buttons aren't very meaningful with the naming. You can again expand this by clicking this little triangle over here, and then text here. I can have this say left arm. This one, if I expand it, the text here, I can have it say the right arm. Now I know that doesn't make sense because it's facing us, so. But I'm viewing this as I'm looking at this. The arm on the right is my right arm. The arm on the left is my left arm. Again, if I'm back here, if I grab hold of this, I can click this and move it. I don't know if there's a way to snap that or not. You can definitely change the X position so they're the same, so they're lined up. But okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Click the left arm. I want the left arm to raise. Well, we'll do a similar type of item on here. So for our left arm, that's this one. Create a script. This is my left arm button. Double click it. Proper use of parameters. We looked at public static last time. Proper use of that, and you wouldn't have to necessarily have an individual code for each one. You could reuse it. Public void left arm movement. Give it a different name just so we can see it. I have my game object, G. G is equal to game object dot find, and I have no clue what it's called. Guess I can look at the other code. Upper arm L. Actually, we go ahead and just copy those two lines of code. Come over here and paste that in. Did you? Oh, okay. Now, if I change this to ARP, because it follows a convention, and now if I do attach to Unity, that sends our code over. And comes over here. Again, this just seems backwards to me. But if you have the left arm chose here, we've already added our script in down here. On this button script right here, see where it says on click. I click the plus. Again, I need to tell it what object is coming from, and you think it would default to the current one, but it doesn't. So I need to drag this button from over here. Drop it right there. If you choose to drop down here, left arm button. Remember what I called it over here? Left arm button. And then left arm movement. So if I choose left, there it is. Left arm button, left arm movement. That's what attaches it. So now if I run it, if I do my left arm, you see that going up. If I click the right arm button, you see that going up. So you can use those to the buttons to change options even. If you remember, let's see if we can change it to get to go reverse direction for the head. Here's the head spinning around. And we're going to come up here and create a public, see if I can remember it, static int, no, float direction equals 1. Down here for the head, I'm going to multiply that times direction. So the direction is going to control which way it goes. Attach that to Unity. When I click a button, I'm going to have a reverse direction. So let me come up with a new button. Right click on that, choose user interface, choose button. And over here, under the text for the new button, I'll have it say reverse or head reverse, or, well, with that, I'm going to go back to my scene so I can easily move that. Not that. Need to click my button. Move that so it's up with the rest. Okay. And so now I want to program that button. And again, I'm going to add a component here. New script. And head reverse code. Double click that. Maybe I have to double click down here. Okay, now over here in our moving robot, that's the name of our class, we had direction declared. So over here in my code I'm going to create public void change head move. Again, I'm going to be referring to this class name, moving robot dot, and we had the direction. So dot direction equals to moving robot dot direction times -1. I'll put an F on there just in case, because it's I think floating point. Now I'm going to attach that to Unity. Stop that, and then come back over here. And again, I need to attach it to that button. Come down here on the click. I'll click that. I need to drag the button over to here. Do the drop down here, head reverse code, and what I call it. Change head movement. Okay, so let's play that. If I click the head reverse, it reverses to the other direction like that. Is there any questions on any of that?
Only on the UI, which I missed, but that should all be cleared up when I go and rewatch the first 20 minutes that I missed.
Actually, we're going to go over that again on the virtual reality class. So you'll see that again. I'm going to choose a different item and program though, so it appears different. And maybe I'll even do an option or something. I haven't done an option for a while. That might be risky. But I haven't reversed ahead either, so that was new. Well, I'll go ahead and stop the recording there because we don't have time to go into the next topic. But again, we'll continue taking a look at different ways of controlling the animation in the game. And there's a really cool way we'll look at here shortly. Because you can see that'd be tedious to sit there and move every bone if you had a complicated mesh, wouldn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and save that.